And live on Facebook.
Hello.
I will say when we are going live. So it's just all these screens open. Okay. Okay, so we are live. Hi, it's me, Jenny Glad here. So super excited to share this Facebook Live conversation today. I'm here with Tori Quisling, and we're going to talk about how to sharpen and deepen your intuition and listen to your inner voice. And I am Jenny Glad, and I work with conscious leaders, entrepreneurs, and healers, and helping them to unblock the inner patterns and success blocks so they can receive more abundance, more success, and really follow their hearts and their purpose. And today I'm here with Tori. So Tori, maybe you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, Jenny. And I have to you're just a wonderful therapist and healer yourself, since I've experienced you. Wonderful. Yeah. So I'm Tori Quisling. I'm the founder of the Center for Clairvoyant and Intuitive Development. I'm in Long Island, but I do all my classes and readings and offerings on Zoom. So I've been doing this. I've been a clairvoyant practitioner for 35 years. I used to work for the Berkeley Psychic Institute in California. And then I also have been a teacher in public school classrooms. I have a master's in education. So I put together my psychic background and my education background and created this school. And so I help people, and I have 2 books. It's exciting. I have the Clairvoyant and how to develop in a simple way your intuitive abilities. And I have Calling in Your Baby, which is a book to help women with conception using clairvoyant and intuitive abilities, because conception and having a baby is more of a spiritual experience, women find, than a medical one.
Oh gosh,
so
yeah.
I help people with that. So I help people who are really feeling like they have some talents that they aren't expressing, especially intuitive and psychic abilities. And either their friends and family have noticed these abilities, or they feel they're repressing them, or they're just so sensitive they can feel the emotions of others and it's overwhelming. So they're really seeking some tools, some language for what it is they're experiencing. And so I offer that in my readings and classes and workshops in the school. And, yes. And then, women and couples who find that they really want to have a baby, and it's not coming right away, realize that this yearning is their own yearning to be more spiritual and to open up and look at it as a spiritual experience and enhance their own intuitive abilities to tune in. That's
lovely to have you here.
Joy.
Super lovely to have you here and talk with
Thanks,
you
Jenny.
today. And why I actually invited you and Tori, just to a little bit about background. So we worked together for a while, and I learned how amazing Tori's work is. But also, why I think it's important to talk about this, because with many women I work with, and I've been there myself, and I felt like I can't follow, like, I don't know, over 12 years ago, I felt like I'm not really following my inner voice and my calling and my intuition. And I felt so disconnected. And this is what I experienced with my audience today. And many people are blaming themselves. They can't actually do what they want to do. They can't recognize the voice, the inner voice, the wisdom, the intuition from their mind that is chattering its own chatter, and also kind of quite like negative chatter that is like covered by fears and insecurities. So this is something that I want to really go into and share with people, how they can actually get the courage and how to start practicing their intuition so that they can follow through. Because I feel like intuition is something that it is the truth that we have, and we have different truths, and we have to find our own truths and start following what feels right for us and for our values, and prioritize that, because that is showing us the right way forward, right?
Yes.
But also for me, I've been highly sensitive since child, and I felt like I sense more than I hear and see. And also this is quite common nowadays. I feel like we have all sensitized, more sensitive than before ever. And as the world has changed, and people should trust more of the inner voice and intuition. So what are the first steps that you can actually start, practicing your intuition, kind of a tuning in and allowing yourself to follow through?
Okay, well, I love that description, and I can see that in you being the sensitive child. All of us are born with all of our senses working, especially the intuitive senses. We have the physical ones on the surface, smelling and touching and tasting and hearing and seeing. But we all have a very heightened sense of energy awareness when we're little. And so we learn very quickly that the adults in our life have suppressed theirs, because we all have a pineal gland. We call it the third eye in the center of your head, and it only sees the truth. So that means it just sees lies as well. So when someone's not telling the truth, it's like actually wiggles. It's like you see the words coming out differently. So as a child, you notice that people are not expressing their truth. As a child, you can see that right away. And so you learn to adapt, because the first thing we want to do is not be different. We want to be accepted and lovable, especially if we're healers and we're sensitive, which most people listening to this are, and they're curious about this. So we start early on thinking it might not be safe to fully express our abilities. And we're really just adapting a lot. I love the story of if you are a preschool child or a kindergarten even, and you draw a picture of a wiggly line and maybe some colors, and the teacher says, "What is that?" And you say, "It's an elephant. His name is George. That's his tail, and he's running through the jungle." Yes. And so the teacher writes that whole story, and it goes up on the refrigerator. Isn't that sweet? Now you go to first grade and they're like, "No, that's not an elephant. It's just a wiggly line." And so what I do in my school is I help you know that you've never lost that part of you, which is called your imagination, your imaging ability, which is our imaging ability goes hand in hand with our pineal gland, which sees infinite color spectrum, which sees all truth. And then that goes in hand with the crown. So everyone can just touch their forehead, because this is where we see. We don't see through our blessed eyeballs. I love that the light comes through here in the eyeballs, but the forehead is where we really see from. We can visualize our loved one's face right now. We can visualize a trip to Spain or Hawaii. That happens in the forehead. And then that goes together, touch your crown. It's like we go back to kindergarten. Let's find our body parts. Our crown is our ability to know something off the top of our head. And when we can get some colors in a squiggly line, just like that child we go, "Oh, here's the idea that's coming through," right? Now, as we're adults with all of our life experiences, if we decide to get curious, that's all it takes to be intuitive. Just be curious. Like, move the critic aside. We turn it down in my classes and get curious about that person. See a color, see some images. And then off the top of your head, your imagination comes in and tells you an idea. And when you can practice with people and it's safe, like I create in my classes, then you can keep practicing saying what you're seeing, and you get immediate feedback.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when we use our intuitive voice and we follow it, we want feedback to know that we got it right. But that's only because we, in the academic environment, which I was an academic teacher for a while, we are giving that feedback right away. You got 100%. You got an
A. Yeah.
That part of us, that's called the analyzer voice, that it's a new voice that's not ours. That one is the one that we're trying to please. So to become more intuitive,
because we got rewarded at school, because we learned in the culture, this is right and this is wrong, and that's not true because it's the book
that's
says,
right. Now the child that says, oh, that squiggly line in my elephant friend that I see in it, it's not true. Oh, my imagination is invalid. And so that's how school starts.
Yeah, and that's how we actually lost the connection with our truth and with the inner reality. And I love actually that you brought up, the safety piece.
Yeah.
Because this is and trusting, and actually how we have all the senses open, and it's not only one session. And I actually have had this belief myself that world is not safe, that people are not actually speaking their truth. And for me, it went so deep as a child that I started feeling I'm not lovable because the people are lying.
Yes, that's absolutely. Ooh, I just got a chill.
Yeah, I got a
Jenny. That's so true.
And this is something it was this week I worked with somebody, and she's like, I can't trust anybody. I can't trust the world. I can't trust even God or universe, whatever higher self, or how they see the world. But and this is a big belief, and this is something that we need to start changing the story and the narrative so that we can actually connect with the intuition and the inner voice, so that trust is big thing here, and learning the truth. So it's not that just intuition, and some people are intuitive and sensitive, but of course also what I have learned that we highly sensitive often become even more sensitive, and it's trauma based because we are learning to tune in energetically what's right and what's wrong, and actually stay far away to avoid situation that we're going to be rejected or abandoned.
Yeah, we use the intuition against us.
Yes, a kind of, as you know, it's a protection mechanism, and it's like trying to keep us safe, like mind is trying to keep us safe, but it's doing actually harm. In that sense.
Yes, and that we call that core pictures or root causes, right?
Root causes.
Core pictures. The core pictures can even be from another lifetime that we've been hurt or betrayed or ashamed. Shame is one that follows us for lifetimes, and it's trauma, PTSD even. That is in our bodies, maybe not even from this lifetime, it's from another.
The intergenerational patterns.
Right.
And that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And this is something that I have been able to release actually this year, these kind of patterns, becoming energetically aware and showing my clients the way how to do that and how to get there, because it's, even though the people are not live anymore, we don't have to talk with them. We don't have to speak with people who have hurt us, but we can energetically let go and change the patterns and the trauma in the body.
Definitely.
I'm a little bit curious about your story, how you became psychic, how you have these wonderful degrees and academic background, and I love that you rationalize everything, so it's like normal thing to be psychic and have these abilities. So can you talk a little bit about your story?
Yes, past as normal for quite some time. I was a public school teacher, so very normal. Trust me with your children. And we had a lot of fun in my California classroom with my 10-year-olds. But I would say that my dad is a psychiatrist, retired psychiatrist. So, he is a very intuitive person. My mom as well, but very, conservative and structured in that intuition. So as a child, I would watch him help people communicating through communication, not,
Mm.
he's a doctor, but he would communicate and heal through speaking,
Mhm.
and so I end up doing the
Mm.
same thing, but as a psychic. He's a psychiatrist, I'm a psychic. So I was very sensitive, absorbing everything. I had elephant ears. I could hear every conversation of every adult, because that's how kids
Yes.
tune in when we're really sensitive. And I just remember not being able to even speak when I was in elementary school. I couldn't even get a voice out until I got home. I was just not safe to speak. And
Mhm.
so very difficult, when you're a sensitive child. And
Mhm.
so I
It's very
went,
lonely, isn't it? I
it's
recognize that
really
loneliness.
isolating,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
isolating. You don't have any tools. There's no language for your experience. I remember
yeah.
someone, an adult talking to me at the drinking fountain, and I floated above the whole experience and looked down on it. And I couldn't get in my body to answer the adult. I was too scared. And so I knew I wanted to be a teacher and help children who are really sensitive.
That
And
makes sense.
while I was in school at San Francisco State to get my teaching degree, working on a master's in writing and elementary teaching, excuse me, I found the Berkeley Psychic Institute,
Mhm.
which was in Berkeley, California, across the bay, San Francisco. And I thought, well, this will be fun. Let's get a reading. And I've always been interested in anything psychic or spiritual or
Mhm.
magical, right?
Same. Mhm.
And Bewitched and the Addams Family. I just love anything magical, spiritual, because I knew that was my language. Those were my people, right? And
Mhm.
there was no Harry Potter back then yet.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome if there was a Harry Potter. So I went and got a reading, and they said, "You're psychic. That's what you are." And I'm like, "That's what I am?
Yeah.
Psychic?
Okay, now
It's
finally I got the word for
exciting."
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we take it a bit further. And what I learned, and I trained there, and I became a teacher with the Berkeley Psychic Institute back in the 1980s, is that our clairvoyance is our place here, like the captain on the bridge. We got to come up here to run everything. And we have all these energy centers throughout the body, which I've, over the years from reading and seeing and understanding now, is that we're connected into a grid through each of these points in our bodies.
You mean chakras?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
energy centers.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're crisscross
Depending.
lines. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
crisscross lines, and they plug us into this matrix, this grid.
Mhm.
And so that way, what's amazing about that is your chakras tune into different frequencies. So the lower chakras, survival, emotion, power. The upper chakras are more etheric.
Mhm.
But you can know about anyone, anything in any time period
Mhm.
just by coming up here, being curious, tuning and wondering about it.
Yeah.
I wonder about my friend who's, in across the country right now. And you can actually get messages, remote,
Mm. And
everything.
this is what happens when somebody calls. I was just thinking about you and you just called, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But all you have to do is just, like you said, you like to get quiet, and just it's just getting quiet. And we call it getting grounded. So knowing that your security just comes from the center of this earth and from your connection to your source, you just start to realize, oh, all that chatter around me is not necessary. I'm going to leave the movie. I'm going to get control, be amused, and just wonder about something.
I
So I
love
see
that.
all this.
Yeah.
It's called
Yeah.
clairvoyance. That's why
Yeah.
it's called clairvoyance. And when you said that there's a lot of sensing and not seeing, and that, well, we're allowed permission to just say, I'm feeling some sadness, I'm picking it up, I'm getting it. So what I do with my students is I have them move away from that and go into, even if you feel sadness, say, I'm noticing sadness. And that way it opens you up to the information when you stay up here. You're the captain, you got to stay up here and at the screen. Okay. The lower body is just reserved for us. So I learned all these tools, and they're called tools. We ground, we run energy, we have a protection rose, our aura. And I learned through readings all these metaphysical concepts, because you can read a book about it. You can have a teacher tell you what an aura is. But if you sit down and you tune in and to read an aura, and I give you ways to how to tune into it, you get an understanding, and then you say, well, the way I understand an aura You gain your own understanding. We're here for sovereignty and seniority and our own information, our own knowledge. So we have to deprogram from the academic world. And so in my classes, in my courses, I'm always teaching like a kindergarten class, because come back to that curiosity, that wonder,
that inner child, that is the child inside,
right,
who is
That's
curious.
right.
And I love to talk about like questioning everything, because when you start asking questions, you start seeing different reality and actually your truth.
Yes.
And what would you say, how to stay aligned? Because this is quite common with sensitive people and empaths who have this autopilot on, that they always go rushing into feeling other people's emotions and getting the information. And that is also the protection and safety mechanism, so to avoid like rejection or any abandonment or anything like that. And how to stay connected with your own truth, so that you are not actually tuning in with other people all the time, or energy or spaces.
Yeah, well, I would say that all comes down to the aura, or the energetic body that surrounds our physical body, and just understanding what that is. So spirit is infinite, eternal, immortal. There's no measurement on it. It's so big. It does not fit into our physical bodies like a spacesuit. Our physical bodies are a vehicle, but they're not meant to contain all of our soul, all of our spirit. And our spirit has all the answers. It's our guiding light, our spirit. It's 10,000 watts. So our spirit surrounding our body is called the aura. Okay. And so if you think of Venn diagrams, two circles, with an idea and and where they meet, where the circles cross.
Yeah.
That's like everybody's aura. And so we'll cross into people's bubbles. Okay. And we sometimes just think the only way, and we've learned from our family as a child, or we just learn from people that the way to control, the way to feel safe is to move your aura around everything.
Yes. Yeah.
And the problem is, whatever's in your aura, your body feels overwhelmed and it feels responsible for. So once you realize that, you can laugh and go, oh, I don't want to put my aura around anybody, unless you have a small child, then they're in aura. But once everybody's dressing themselves and driving and just pull your aura back. And we have tools, but you can just think of the edge of your aura around you, about an arm away, and just the thought of it pulls it back. You're grounded, you're amused, and you're not in anyone's space. So when someone wants to speak to you, you can just be what we say, the rose, just be behind the edge of your aura, just be behind it. And then you can respond instead of react. You can be grounded. As a teacher, I would forget, because we forget. We lose.
I know we forget. I know I forget. Sometimes usually I know with my clients I'm not doing that anymore. So it's like, sometimes if it's really something huge and emotional, I just go in there, and I can do that consciously to help, but it's
absolutely. And that's called getting lit up on our end. So we have thing that's matching, and we lose our space, and we fall into the paint, we fall into it. So the way, or it's like when watching a movie that's really intense, you fall into the screen of the movie, and let's get some popcorn and look around, movie, right? And so you want to find your space throughout the day, so that you can so it's like organizing your energetic field and your energetic body. But when I was a teacher in front of 26 10-year-olds, I would forget, and I would think I need to spread my aura to have control all over the and then I'm like, sit down, be quiet, and it's like, wait a minute, wait, oh yeah, I have an aura and I have space. So I would just stand there, pull in my aura, and just stand there, and I would be the brightest energy in the room, the most conscious energy in the room, and everybody would just quiet down. You can do that in a meeting. You can do that. You can just, oh yeah, let me just hold in my bubble.
I know it feels so good when you do that consciously, and you just be there in your own space, and it's calm.
People trigger us though. Oh, I got to tell you a problem. Oh, let me ask you a question. So that's when you remember it. Oh yeah, let me sit back. Let me be here. And you're there. Just a simple, I'm here, you're there. There. And that's easier to be into.
For the last question, are you going to teach, because Tori is going to be visiting in my Conscious Creator program that is starting on January 11th.
That's a good
I know good day. And it's a wonderful time to start something new and really
Yes,
rebirthing and redesigning your life. And I think 2022 is going to be something awesome.
it is.
But are you going to teach these tools in your workshop? Because Tori is going to give us a bonus workshop for the program and teaching. Tell me a little bit. I have one more question to the end because
Sure.
I'm very choosy, but tell me a little bit about this bonus workshop that you're going to.
Oh yeah, I would be happy to just jumpstart your intuition and your certainty about it. So I always like to teach with some techniques and some games. So we will, I'll teach you a concept about perhaps grounding, being in the center of your head and pulling in your aura. And then I have little tricks and games that we can play to help us remember for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, but to help you start to find your space and tune into what your inner voice sounds like, which is always the cheerleader, which is the voices. Yes. That would be great. Let's do that.
Yeah.
To recognize when the critic has come up and said, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
There's some fun games and just some, what I like to do is like we look at some images, we look at some colors, and we practice reading, tuning in, maybe pictures of people tuning in and realizing that you have this intuitive insight ability all along.
Yeah.
And how to stay present while you're doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that is something that we're going to have. We have a whole module, and actually we do some healing. Yes. Healing the patterns to stay present, more present, and start, connecting deeper within. So that is going to support that. Absolutely. For me, it was helpful. I was really in the chaotic place after burnout. I was starting to understand why I need to be more present. That's ages ago. But, I started sitting on the couch and just getting quiet and grounded and asking what I need to do. It was like going to gym or staying at home. These kind of simple questions, allowing myself to give me, the right answer. And this is like, I love your approach because it's so simple, accessing actually with your third eye, the vision, and, allowing it to lead you. So it doesn't have to be anything complicated.
Yes. No,
it's so effortless.
Academic is complicated. Intuitive learning. It's simple, curious, playful, and fun.
Yes, exactly. I love that. So the last question for you is, of course, about the future, because we just like, give me the right answers. What is the right decision I have to make? How is my future going to look like in 10 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you help people with these kind of questions. Am I going to meet my soulmate?
Yeah. So what I teach my students, what I do over the years, our future, especially when we ask about the future, that person's not very grounded in the present, right? So we see the future as a series of trajectories, like off the person's head, like of where they are, what choices they have on a daily basis to tune into. Where you put your attention grows, right?
Yeah.
And so we first look to see, what's in that question about finding the love of my life, right? Always looking in anything you want, and I'm teaching a manifestation workshop, anything you want is going to be located in the heart chakra. And the heart can say, because it's your commitment, it says my heart's in it or my heart's not in it. Purpose, your path, everything's in that heart. And so when you tune into your heart, you can see a thermometer. And I train students to see a thermometer and just to see how much can that person have what they're asking for. Like, I want the love of my life. Oh, but they're not yet, right? I need to lose weight, or, maybe it's like, I'm Fahrenheit, so 30 degrees, it's freezing, right? And so we want to see what's blocking them from saying yes to what they can have, like the havingness gauge. It's a psychic word. Can you have that you're asking for? And so releasing all the blocks that say you can't have, because a reading's a healing. It always is. Whenever you put attention on something, it moves. And energy moves. That's a healing. So I would say when we read the future, we're looking at the person's heart, their commitment to having it, allowing themselves to have it. I did this. One woman was just desperate to have a man in her life, and she saw the vision. We put the vision out there, and then we raised her having-ness gauge
Yes. Yeah.
thermometer next to her
Yeah.
heart. So she had the
Yeah.
word yes, exclamation,
Yeah.
yes. X in the face. So you
Yeah.
smile, you're present, you're in
All the
excited.
instincts, all the senses are open to receive. Yeah.
We were in the city, in New York City, and she went to the elevator. It opened, and she had seen the symbol of a deer for this man, like an elk, like he was
Oh, okay. Yeah.
friendly. And on his shirt was like a little picture of an elk. And he was the height that she was visualizing,
Yeah.
look in his eye, and they ended up dating. Like
Mm.
because she could say yes. Now, if we're not able to say yes, we're like, oh, I can't have that yet. We're looking down. We're not even expecting anything. We're not aware. So intuitive, you have to be in a state of expectancy if you call something in.
Absolutely.
And so, because when people ask about the future, it's really just a timeline of when they can have it. They're feeling it. They're yearning for it. That means it's there.
Yeah.
It's that they're keeping it at arm's length.
Absolutely, because there's a reason why they haven't had it before, so
exactly. So with the healing or the reading, you can give them insights. Oh, let's move the scale back. Let's move the timeline back. And you watch the heart. If you move it back to 3 months and they go, oh, 3 months, you move it back to 3 weeks. They're like, ooh, 3 weeks, but I'm a little scared, or you go 3 days. He's here in 3 days. And they go, okay, what in me needs to move in order to get to say yes in 3 days? Why not?
I love it. I love it.
Or for the lady on the elevator, why not in 3 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. But you have to have your energy aligned with what you want. So it's wonderful. Yeah.
We can all see, and in the future, 5-10 years, that doesn't seem as relevant as the direction and the havingness that you want to take right now. And it's just like when someone worries about the future, like I have to give a speech and I'm so scared. I always just say, well, find your space in the present moment, really be confident about that. And then just tell yourself, I'll just be there for it because I'm fully resourceful. I'm fully present and aware and smart and tune. So you just say, I'll just be there for it in 5 years. I'll just be there. Every day I practice being present. So I'll just be there in 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. And that is knowing, because when we know something's going to happen, I knew I'm going to work in the USA. I knew I'm going to, start my company over there. And, I had no idea how, for example, and I have made many of my dreams real in most weird ways and fantastic, magical ways, because I knew, and I did that consciously also, but I didn't put that much effort in there because I feel like the more we let go of the outcome and know that it's coming.
Just be present. Just be aware and awake. Like people that don't like their jobs, well, they just wait till Friday. So Monday morning, maybe 10% of them is there at the job. The rest of them's on Friday. So just be 100% at your job. So that all the opportunities that are ready for you can find you.
Oh, yes.
Right?
This is
present. And your future will be there.
Absolutely.
For you.
And it's so difficult for people. And I know, because it's so difficult when you have a job that you don't want to be in, and you have to be there, of course, for the finances and everything. So what I usually do with people is like, we just find the positive so that we keep the energy high and trusting and getting connected deep down there. And then the magic happens because it happens. And, simple ways how to stay aware of people who are not good, avoiding, disconnecting energetically. And it's
you're good at making magic happen, Jenny.
Absolutely.
You are. Because it's getting out of your own way and staying present, and you have to release those blocks, and then the magic happens. Because we have a big no across our chest, across our heart.
And it's hard when the no is there. It's really hard. It's you somehow blocking the way or not able to have, and that's the most difficult place. And sometimes it is like it's the time is not there. Maybe you're not ready. If you have done all the work.
What we can do is give insights. I give insights into it. So in a future reading, I'm not going to give any programs. Like you will you have to, you need to. When I teach
Mm,
students this, I'll say, I
mhm,
see you
mm,
going into nature each day and making a
mm,
new connection.
mhm,
Just seeing a vision for a next step
mm.
that
I
that
love
person,
that. Yeah, exactly. And a
and then
healthy
they can
steps
do it or
and
not. Yeah, they don't waking up in the morning. Did they do what I said? No, I just offered a vision. They
yeah.
can take that vision and do it. Yeah,
Mm. Oh, that's very
yeah,
wise and smart and,
yeah,
lovely.
yeah. That's what we all have access to.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for
Thank
taking
you.
time to chat with me
Very easy.
and, doing this bonus for Conscious Creator. If anybody wants to do a session with Tori, she's available and I will post your link
Yes,
over
thank
there, and I will post the Conscious Creator link, and I wish you will join us for
you.
this 6-week journey to inner wisdom and guidance and
We all have
create
it.
your life.
Yep.
We all have it and
Let's do
we
it.
all
Let's
can
do
do
it.
it.
We have sensitive ones here. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, thank you so much for coming,
Thank you, Jen.
and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
We wait. The live stream is gone. It's about like 20 seconds delay.
Okay.
Oh, there was a high energy over there.
That was good. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Could you see how many people were watching?
No, because I had to shut the Facebook off. So I will
All right.
tag you now if that didn't
Thank
go
you so
through.
much. I just,